Coming up on This Week in Plymouth, the Planning Board hosts 4 public hearings, construction for the Main Street projects begins, and we recap sport coverage for the Bobcats. All that and more coming up on This Week in Plymouth. Hello and welcome to This Week in Plymouth. I'm your host, Dan Salzer. The Planning Board was the only board that held a meeting this past week. Despite having 4 public hearings, the meeting was relatively quick. The board began with a meeting on Thursday evening with a site review at 793 Texas Hill Road at 5:30. They decided to visit the site after receiving a subdivision application at the previous meeting. They then adjourned and convened back at Town Hall for the regular scheduled meeting at 6:30 p.m. Back at Town Hall, the board continued the Frontenac development hearing regarding Charterin Lane, Ski Lift Lane, and Point of View Drive. Applicant Jeff Hiltz was present for the meeting and gave the board some updates and a timeline for when the roads will hopefully be completed. Given the new information, the board voted to once again continue the hearing to mid-June.
Just here to update you as to where we stand with different things.
Yep.
In answer to your first question, we still need to provide you, based on the last request, is a more detailed as-built showing utilities, which we're going to be working on shortly.
Okay.
And other than that, just a quick recap of things that I'm aware of that are left to be done there before we come in for final. There's some stop signs that are left to be installed. We have some ongoing discussions relative to the removal of the retaining wall, the as-built plan. And then at some point in time, and I need a little bit of input from the board, there needs to be a title search done, so when the final deed is prepared. Could you inform me or let me know as to when that would occur or when we should start that procedure? And also, if you could give me a rough cost when, not tonight, but at some point in time in the near future so I can budget for that?
I think that's a question for the select board.
Yeah.
Is that a select board issue or a planning board? That's a select board?
Yeah, Town Manager Scott Whedon, I'm sure, would be happy to help, and I'm also happy to help facilitate it.
Assuming that has to do with the transfer of the road from
The road right away from
you to the town.
to the town,
that would be
correct.
a select board.
Yeah, that's definitely
It's a
not
select board issue,
us,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last thing that I'm aware of, at some point in time, we'll have to get together with Mike McNally and establish a dollar figure for a maintenance bond.
Okay.
And other than that, all the major construction issues have been accomplished up there.
So can I ask, just in terms of planning future meetings and such, like, if you have any sense of timeline for getting the as-built completed and that?
I'm hoping by the end of May or mid-June.
Okay.
But I'll keep Joseph informed, and then if it's necessary, I'm more than glad to come in.
Can I just make a comment here? So I think part of the issue we're running into is we have abutters and residents in the area that are coming to every planning board meeting because they're not getting, and we've had several months where we haven't had any updates. So I'm, yeah, so, and I understand that. I just feel like people are constantly coming to meetings, so I'm wondering if just out of respect for their time, if we can continue it to June.
I'm okay with that if the board's okay with it.
I mean, so you don't expect to have the as-built or anything before then?
Not 100% complete, no.
Yeah, okay. I'm not opposed to that.
So just put it on the June agenda.
That's fine.
I make a motion that we continue this until June
Something.
15th? Yes, the 15th.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
After their site visit at 793 Texas Hill Road and getting some input from the public, the board decided to approve the subdivision application.
Mark Vanderhayden, a surveyor, prepared the plan. So there's, in substance, there's not anything changed to this plan, but since the last hearing, DES has done their formal review in the office and in the field, taken that plan, had a request for information, which we addressed, resubmitted back. And basically that request was that DES needs to prove 4 bedrooms for any lot. It doesn't mean that's all the lot can support, and these can definitely support more, but in their review process. So that being said, at the septic level, you can have overlapping well radius, a lot of different things at the septic system design level. At the subdivision level, per their procedures, they approve a four-bedroom design. So we move the well radiuses to comply, which makes it more compliant with the town of Plymouth. Resubmitted that information. They issued a subdivision approval, and then subsequent to that, we submitted formally e-filed the septic system design for Lot 1. That's the smaller of the lots. And so we got approval for that. So those are two major approvals. And as I said at the initial presentation, DES reviews the information they have. They go out and do a site check, as we did tonight. They're more thorough, because that's what they do. They're into protecting the water table and groundwater, surface water of the state of New Hampshire. So they look at that with that eye and the information we submit. So those, and I have copies of the approvals, but I think the town has been copied in on that, so.
Thank you.
One of my questions is, I was unable to attend the last hearing, and I'm wondering if there's been any consideration to the road condition, and adding in presumably many, many new people to this area. Also, I noticed on the plan that one of the driveways, I believe it's on the second lot, would be directly in line with my driveway. And I'm wondering what the reasoning for that is, especially when the road is not, I don't believe that it's up to the standard size of a regular road. So, and also it's extremely muddy much of the year. So I'm just wondering if the planning board has given any consideration to that, or if Steve has.
We have the driveway issue and the capacity of the road issue. Does anybody want to address that on the board?
I was thinking about the road issue. There were
Yeah.
several people who expressed concern over the quality of the road and its suitability for development. I don't remember exactly which RSA it is, but there is a prohibition against premature development based on road quality, but it's very specific to Class 6 roads. It does not apply to Class 5 or Class 4 roads. I don't think the town has any legal justification to deny a subdivision application on a road that's regularly used by other people.
Joseph, do they, during the building permit process, is the highway department and everybody involved in that process, and they have to go out and meet and look at the driveway and all of that, and they also follow up with that during the progress of the building?
That's my understanding, yes. So highway department needs to approve a driveway permit, and my understanding is he does go and take a look at the site in reviewing those applications. But yeah, that's correct. Those would go through the highway department.
I understand that this plan seems to meet all of the requirements. But like being out there and seeing it, it just seems like, is that actually 75 feet? Like just seems so close, and we weren't measuring today, but from it's my understanding that DES did have someone out there, but has there actually been a wetland delineation? Like has someone gone out there and said like, oh, these species are present and this soil is this, so or has it just been like a generalized like, oh, this is wet but it's far enough away? Like, is there some other level of wetland importance that exists that would change what's allowed to happen on that lot?
I think the issue comes down to the fact that if the town were to question that, we would have to bring in a similar, it would be incumbent upon us to bring in another licensed professional who could evaluate that. And then if there is a conflict, we have a conflict between two licensed professionals that, the gentleman standing behind you has a license to do,
Yes.
to write
I'm
this
not
plan.
saying-
And I'm sure you're not questioning his integrity, but at the same time, the process of evaluating that, it's kind of beyond us to say, if it were a bigger project, we might have an engineer review it.
I'm making a motion to approve the subdivision for Texas Hill Road.
With the one waiver request?
The one waiver request. Excuse me.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve this application. Is there any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The third public hearing of the night came from Peter and Beth Cormier, who were interested in displaying a sign at 718 Tenny Mountain Highway for their model sheds that they sell. The board accepted the application as complete and ultimately approved the application. The final hearing of the night was for an application to add an accessory dwelling unit at 103 Yetton Road, which was ultimately approved by the board. In closing, the Planning Board Chair, John Christ, informed the board that the next meeting on Thursday, May 4th, will be a joint meeting with the Zoning Board. This meeting will be broadcasted live on both our YouTube channel and channel 1301. It's now time to take a look at the weekend weather with the PSU Meteorology Department.
To your Saturday, looking at our future castles, clouds are going to remain all day. And then Sunday, we're going to be seeing some rain start to come in. And that rain is going to be staying with us on Sunday well into our Monday afternoon. This is currently for Monday at 1:30. That rain is still holding strong for the majority of New Hampshire and portions of Vermont. And that rain will continue to stay towards your Monday, probably around dinner time, maybe even later than that. So your weekend outlook, Saturday is going to be fairly cloudy and gloomy. However, temperatures staying relatively high in around 56 degrees in the mid 50s. But then once that rain starts to come down towards your Sunday and Monday, that's going to be cooling off the temperatures, going down into the mid 40s. And then for the rest of your week, it's still looking fairly gloomy, at least for the first half of the week. So yeah, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're going to be seeing a lot of rain coming in. Temperatures staying in the mid 40s into the low 50s for Tuesday, if we can get it up that high. And then towards the end of your week, it's going to be much, much better. Wednesday and Thursdays are going to be mostly sunny, temperatures in the mid 50s, and that temperature will stagnate towards the rest of your week into your Friday for a chance of some slight PM showers, probably going into your Saturday. I'm your student meteorologist, Sean Kennedy, here with your Plymouth State PM weather. Have a good weekend, everyone.
It's now time to take a look at this week's announcements. Construction for the downtown Main Street projects is in its beginning phases, with temporary water bypass systems being set up north of the Rotary on Main Street and on Old North Main Street this past week. The Green Mountain Pipeline crew also began putting in lining on Bridge Street and Green Street this past Thursday and Friday. To stay up to date on both projects, be sure to check the town website and Facebook page regularly for up-to-date changes and information. The town of Plymouth is currently looking for its oldest resident to receive the Boston Post cane. The Boston Post cane has been an ongoing tradition since 1909, where the Boston Post newspaper gives out canes to 431 different towns across New England for the select boards to give to their oldest residents. If you know anyone who may want to receive this acknowledgement, please confidentially submit their name, birth date, and age to the town of Plymouth with attention to Anna Bear. Letters can be sent to 6 Post Office Square, Plymouth, New Hampshire 03264, or by emailing finance@plymouth-nh.org. Submissions must be received on or before May 31st. The town clerk's office has announced that dog licensing is due by April 30th. Details for licensing your dog, such as fees and required documentation, can be found on the town clerk's website at www.townclerkplymouthnh.com. Also on the town clerk's website, you can find information about the 2023 Plymouth Top Dog Contest. If you are interested in entering, please visit the website to read the rules and fill out an entry form. The Plymouth Memorial Day ceremony and parade will be held on Monday, May 29th, with the parade kicking off at 10:30 a.m. We here at Pemmy Baker TV will be covering both events live with the ceremony and parade. The Recreation Department is also looking for people to submit photos of loved ones who have passed away in service to be shown in a special slideshow to be aired on PBTV alongside the ceremony. Photos can be submitted to Kelsey Bowden through email at kbowden@pemmybaker.org. Please include both their name and the branch that they served in. Deadline to submit is May 22nd. The Recreation Department has continued to announce more programs for the 28 Ways to Recreate. The new programs include Learn and Adult Pickleball, New to Hoops and Hoop It Up Advanced, rock band camp, and a wrestling clinic. For more information on these programs and all the other programs, a part of 28 Ways to Recreate, visit the Recreation Department Facebook page or their website. Pease Public Library has some upcoming activities, one of which being the Resilient Raptor webinar series done by the New Hampshire Audubon Society. The last two sessions are being held on Tuesday, April 25th and Tuesday, May 23rd, both at 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. The link to join the Zoom can be found by scanning the QR code currently on your screen. This upcoming Wednesday, April 26th, also at Pease Library in the community room, is the Crafternoon with Judy. At this particular event, you will learn how to bind your own books. This event will be from 2 to 3:30 p.m. and advanced registration is required, so be sure to save your spot at the front desk in the library today. It's now time to take a look at sports for Plymouth Regional High School. Baseball stayed undefeated after a come-from-behind 2-1 victory over Merrimack Valley on Wednesday afternoon. Junior Johnny Flaherty pitched the gem, going the full 7 innings with 9 strikeouts and only giving up 1 run. Flaherty also helped his own cause by driving in the eventual game-winning run in the 5th inning with a 2 RBI single. Boys lacrosse returned home on Thursday on the back end of back-to-back games. After falling to Bow in a hard-fought battle on Wednesday 4-3, the Bobcats struggled to get their legs going against Pelham on Thursday. Senior captain Brendan Marcoux and freshman Cooper Legacy led the Bobcats in scoring with 2 goals each in the 13-5 setback. Looking ahead to next week's town meetings, the Select Board will be meeting on Monday, April 24th. In that meeting, there will be a public hearing at 5:15 p.m. for the discussion of the downtown drainage project. The Water and Sewer Commissioners and PERLAC are also scheduled to meet on Tuesday, April 25th at 5 and 6:30 respectively. A reminder that you can watch most town meetings live or on demand on our YouTube channel or throughout the week on channel 1301. That will end this week's episode. For our executive producer, Jonathan Picard, I'm Dan Salzer. Remember, register your dogs before the end of the month. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you this time next week on This Week in Plymouth.